back to the John and Linetia show.
It's been a while since we posted a show, huh? We've been a little busy. But there's been a lot of news out there, so...
Yes, lots and lots of news. So instead of talking about any of that news, let's talk about some entertainment. Let's talk about Saturday Night Live.
I have not been able to watch this season so far. I'm behind. Have you watched?
Yeah, I think it's been okay.
Okay.
You know, I think it's slightly better than last year.
Okay, because I know Bruce Willis hosted, and I know the Twerky Girl
Yeah,
hosted.
Miley Cyrus hosted.
And who am I missing? Somebody.
Tina Fey started
Tina
out
Fey.
Season host.
All right. Usually she's funny, though.
Well, yeah, and she was in the stuff that she does, but the problem is she doesn't do characters, so, you know, it wasn't, you know, but then again, neither does really Miley Cyrus, other than doing Miley Cyrus, and that's all they did was tons of Miley Cyrus.
Which was good promotion for her. That's what she wants. And then I know Bruce Willis, I only saw like one skit that he did, and that was the one with the boys who want to dance, which I thought was kind of hilarious, but... Soon we're going to have Miss Olivia Pope hosting. Miss Kerry Washington herself is going to be hosting the show.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
You don't watch Scandal.
No, I don't watch Scandal. Why would I watch Scandal?
Blasphemy! How dare you!
I don't get BET in my neighborhood.
It's not on BET, crazy man.
TV1?
It's on ABC.
Is that like Centric?
Major network.
I don't think. I think in my neighborhood they show up.
You always say that.
Show.
You always say that.
Yeah. I think. I'm pretty sure they're showing like Duck Dynasty or something like that instead of that.
That is in your neighborhood because that's not in mine.
No, they're from the South.
Way far south, like Mason-Dixon land.
Anyway, so Kenan Thompson, who's been on the show for way too long.
He's funny sometimes.
Sometimes. I think he understands, too, that that's pretty much it. That he doesn't have a film career, and pretty much after Saturday Night Live, he's kind of done. You know, I mean, there's a chance that he could do like a sitcom, but he probably looks at like Tim Meadows, who is like so much more talented than him, and he's like, "Oh crap!"
Or Garrett Morris, or Eddie Murphy, or Chris Rock.
Well, at least Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock actually had some starring vehicles. And
well, he's just gonna.
Garrett Morris is on Two Broke Girls now.
Oh, fantastic!
Occasionally,
a show I'm not watching.
So
again, but he's gonna have to learn how to reinvent himself.
Sure.
He is.
Sure. Even though every character he does is like, oh, look, it's Kenan Thompson.
Again.
So
doing the same character.
But he did some interviews and I don't know if somebody asked him or if he just kind of came out, but he basically was talking about the reason, and I actually pointed this out on my Facebook page, that this season, you know, you had Kristen Wiig, you had a woman leaving, and amongst other cast members, two males. You had, like Fred Armisen, who, I mean, he's not a person of color, but he's not a completely white guy. So he's a little bit of ethnicity there, etc. But you had the people who left were replaced by 5 white guys.
5 white guys.
And
okay.
So it was sort of like, I remember that. I was like, it's kind of waspy, just kind of how they did that.
Yeah.
So it came up, whether Kenan mentioned it or whatever, was sort of like, what about black women? The last one being Maya Rudolph.
Who was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. And in the past we've had Maya was one of only 4 black women on the show
in
ever.
the 38 years they've been on, there's only been 4 black women.
Yeah.
Maya Rudolph,
right?
Ellen Cleghorn, Denitra Vance, and Yvonne Hudson.
Right.
38 years.
Yeah. And it's honestly, I was just looking at like anyone of color, anyone different, and part of the problem with the show is that you've got enough people in pop culture of different ethnicities too, and different genders. And I think Kenan Thompson had mentioned that he and I forget the other cast member he was talking about, will no longer do any drag, any stuff in drag. Basically, it's their way of saying, listen, you're not going to hire women, for the shows, and screw it. I'm not gonna bail you out by doing these female characters.
Yeah, because he does Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, he's done all that in the past, and part of the funny is, oh look, there's a guy doing that role.
Right.
Ha 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 ha. Isn't that funny? But I think it's fine that he's not going to do it. Of course, he actually kind of defends the show and saying, I think he said, that it's not. It's not easy to be a comedian to be considered for Saturday Night Live, and in his mind, they do the casting calls, and there aren't a whole lot of black women that will come out, and that's quite possible. But and in the end, Lorne Michaels, old white guy, is going to pick who he wants for the show.
Right.
But I think it's kind of sad that they don't get some more diversity on the show.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not an avid SNL watcher. I mean, I do watch sometime, but it would be nice to see a more diverse cast. It would be nice. I'm kind of surprised that it's not diverse. This is 2013, not 1978. I don't even know why. According to what Keenan is saying, we don't have a lot of African American women that are not trying out for SNL. I don't know. We have plenty of talent out there. As you can see, we have plenty of African American women who are comedians and have been very, very successful at it. I don't know whether, which way, African American women are going as far as that genre.
Right.
I don't know if they're, going up and saying, I want to be a comedian, or I want to go into stand-up, or, does Lorne Michaels and his crew ever go to, like, these comedy clubs and see people there, and say, what, I think I want you to try out. Who are women?
Yeah.
Who are black women, I want to say.
Well, and I think, they put the casting calls out there, and actually, I forgot, Jay Farrow also has said he's not going to do any characters in drag, and, you can't blame them.
Right.
They did. I mentioned the 5 white guys they added to the cast. They did also add 1 white woman to the cast, but still, they do have, 5 women, 6 women in the cast, and that's fine. But you look at it and you go, you only got 2 black guys, and you got no black women, no sisters.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand with that. And then I would like to know, have they spoken? Haven't seen Lorne Michaels come out and say anything about this yet. And he's been in the business a long time. I think he would know, what is he looking for? What are the rules? Are you looking for a certain look? And I mean, I just don't know, and we know plenty of people who are in that area.
Right.
Who are funny. So I don't know what the problem is. There should be enough actors and actresses, stand-up comedians to go anywhere. I mean, but this isn't the first time we've heard about, African American women or African Americans, period, having a hard time in Hollywood or having a hard time, in entertainment business. It's just known out there that, and I've seen so many people talk about it. George Duke, and not George Duke, Bill Duke and Sanaa Lathan have come out and said that there aren't enough roles out there, for them to play. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why, basically you find yourself doing, like an all-black show, sometime. Or
well, I mean, you had the show in Living Color that was almost all black.
It was.
You say almost all black, and you go, who was the breakout star?
Yeah.
Who was the breakout star from In Living Color,
I
right?
know, and still a star.
It was Jim Carrey.
Still a star
So it was
today.
the white guy who actually kind of broke out from that show. You could definitely say that, there were a lot of other, stars that came out, but he was the biggest.
Yeah.
He was the breakout star from that
but
show.
But the Wayans family, they are, successful in their own right. They produce shows, they produce movies. They may not be like the biggest quality movies that you ever want to see. They may not be Oscar worthy, but they are doing things out there, and they're doing their own thing.
But it did show that there are people of color in sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And funny.
Yeah.
Somebody like, actually, you look at it and you go, Damon Wayans, he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while. You even got, people, there was the Mad TV.
Mad TV was a great show.
Yeah.
We did have African
on
women
there.
Deborah Wilson was
on that
on
show.
there.
And you've got Key and Peele now doing their own show.
Right, but again, we're looking at women.
I think it also just falls to just diversity in general, too.
And Deborah Wilson did come out, and say, she doesn't know why either.
And she also said that it's, it's within the rights of the producers to cast whoever they want.
Right, exactly. But still.
But in the end, you go, well, I would hope that they would have, at least a little bit of diversity here.
And have more of an open mind. Right. You should want a more diverse cast. You'll get a more diverse audience.
Right.
You want ratings.
Right.
That's basically what you want.
You look at the quintessential white show that they incorporated a lot of black cast members was like Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
You're just so wrong. This was such a nice, serious conversation. We were doing so good. I was so proud of you. And then, what? You throw Kardashians in there. Great. Well, that's another subject, A lot of the actresses now, they're on these freaking reality shows. So, I don't even want to talk about that.
They're not actresses. They're skanks.
Yeah, they're acting like they're actresses. Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, and...
Anyway, I don't know. Hopefully, calling attention to this will actually at least maybe get more of the black female sketch comedy actors out to audition. Maybe Lauren Michaels will actually look at it and go, hey, you know what? It is looking a bit white up here.
I don't know what he's saying. He's looking a bit white lately.
Yeah,
just a bit white, just a bit gray hair. Come on, let's pick one. Pick one African American woman. Put them up there. One, man.
It'll happen at some point. Thanks for listening to the John and Linetia Show.